What up, everybody? How we all doing this weekend? It is March 13th, a Saturday, 2021, and it is, without a doubt, probably the busiest week I've seen in a while for Transformer news. It is absolutely ridiculous how much stuff has been just piling on every single day. I went out grocery shopping. I couldn't. My phone was ringing like crazy. There was so much news happening. So anyone who's new to this, my name is Protoman. I'm the host of the Transformer Slag podcast, and this is the Protoman YouTube live stream for the Transformer Slag podcast. This is the ugly mug you have to see when you normally have to listen to throughout the week. So how's everyone doing? If we're all good, we're going to jump into it because we got a lot of news, and I don't want you to have to listen to this voice. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. So, let's start with the first one, and it's probably the biggest one. And as we finally got to see a whole bunch of images of our Commander class Rodimus Prime. These came courtesy of the Takara Tomy website, and it is just madness. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I went into it in depth in my individual segment in the queue. If you want to go back after this and listen to all the little beats and everything that's going on. Later in the week, we then learned about that Matrix of Leadership over there, which has a new Matrix of Leadership light effect piece, which is not the same one used with the 86 Hot Rod from Studio Series. There's so much to take apart here. People have been staring at this. People have been yelling. People have been angry. People have been going back and forth. People are saying they love it or they hate it. People are saying it shouldn't be this size. It's all over the place. The one thing I do want to bring up, someone in the Japanese community pointed out how they think that there's a possibility that the Rodimus Prime alt mode is maybe mistransformed. There's a peg hole on the side that seems to be not plugged in properly with the trailer. I find that kind of crazy to believe for something that was photography done by Takara. They wouldn't make a mistake like that. But who knows? Who knows? I know Hasbro in the past has, where they've mistransformed product and sent out those images. But it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. I know that there's some people that are excited about it while others are just loathing this. I'm excited. It's one of my favorite characters of all time, if not my favorite character of all time. And, man, it's going to be interesting to see. Especially for someone like me who's going to want to own two of them. It's going to be expensive. Probably one of the most expensive Rodimus Prime products from retail that I'll have to buy in a very long time, since probably the original Masterpiece back in 2010, the MPO9, because the Hot Rod one was rather cheap. That was the Hasui Shogo ones were a lot cheaper. But yeah, so there's that. Let's jump into next part. We had G2 Ramjet was revealed to us, the old 1993 color scheme of the Conehead Seeker jet, and this is exciting to a lot of people. This scratches the itch of a lot of early 90s kids that grew up with Generation 2. And this guy right here was featured in every single intro of Generation 2, fighting against a very dated CG Optimus Prime, beating the hell out of each other. For Transformers Generation 2, and now with the Cybernex Space Cube. And the stories of the Transformers Generation 2. So, this is pretty exciting, though. It's pretty cool to get him in this color scheme. It's not the first time he's had this homage in this color scheme. Of course, the Transformer Collector Club back in, I believe it was 2011, did the same thing with the deluxe scale Dirge mold. Not Dirge, Ramjet mold from, I think it was in Generations. I want to say it was Generations that did that mold. But it still looks great. Still looks great. We really like that voice box. Hey, third party, want to make a little plastic box on the back that makes some lights and sounds? That'd be pretty rad. Speaking of stuff that's not so rad, we all know how you people just love Funko Pop, right? So let's talk about a jumbo Funko Pop. So Funko announced that they are starting their pre-orders for their jumbo 10-inch Optimus Prime G1 Funko Pop. There is the standard one next to it to give you an idea of just how big this guy is going to be compared to the standard one. The pre-orders have already gone up on Walmart. It is going to be $29.99. You could spend your money better elsewhere. And they are scheduled to ship out May 30th, 2021. It's pretty much just a blown up version of the very first of the retro toy Hasbro standard G1 Funko Pop Optimus Prime. Not much really more I could say about that, except this puts our tally up to now we have 14 G1 Funko Pops. Primus, help us all. So there's the whole list right there. If you are a completist, it is going to be a Walmart exclusive, this jumbo, for people that are wondering. Yeah, it is what it is. There's not much more I could really say about that. It's pretty crazy. Zero says here, my friend has something like 700 plus Funko Pops, and I don't get it. Zero, that's when you have an intervention with your friend. Because he's going to have problems later in life, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Speaking of Walmart exclusives, we had the announcement today of a whole bunch of stuff for the Walmart Collector Con, and a digital convention that's going to be happening on Monday. And we were revealed to us the I think it's called the Vintage Retro Beast Wars Reissue line, which is going to be exclusive to that of Walmart. And they revealed a whole bunch of images of the 4 that we're going to be getting. We're going to take some shots of these right now, including some new images that just surfaced today. So first we have the Bad Mama Jamma himself, Big Bot, Boss Monkey, the Ultra Class Optimus Primal, based on his 1996 mold. Obviously, there is slight differences here from the original in terms of paint scheme. Luckily, it looks like all the gimmicks and bells and whistles have been maintained. The flip-out cannons, the flip-out shoulder cannons, the missile launchers, the storage of everything, the mutant head, it's all there. Obviously, the paint is a little different in some areas. They didn't paint the inside of, I like to call it his matrix area or his spark chamber. Like, they didn't really paint that in like the original toy. There's more of a metallic kind of color scheme on his helmet. And all the blue plastic that's used for his swords, the missiles, and the hilt of his mace seem to be using a lighter blue instead of a darker blue. But again, who knows with these photos? It could be the saturation of the plastic due to heavy lighting because of the photography here. We don't know, but there is some stuff that's pretty clear that there is differences here. I do like that, though, because at least that means that in the secondary market, if you come across these, you will be able to tell the difference between the original 1996 release and that of a reissue with the color scheme. That's something that, unfortunately, is kind of a bit of a problem with some of the G1 reissues, is that, I mean, at the end of the day, the uneducated is going to make a mistake and know that they're obviously you could look for a date stamp, but still, it's definitely going to be different, and I like that a lot. Let's go into the next one, and that's of Megatron. And what was cool about this today, they showed that, yes, the water gimmick has been maintained and the missile launcher gimmicks. And, with this one, the thing that confuses me is the head, his actual head is like completely black with just very little paint deco. It's quite bizarre. And I mean, the rest of it looks pretty on. I mean, I might be missing something here. There might be some silver in some areas that I'm missing. But at the end of the day, it looks pretty much like the original, except for like some paint deco missing. But at least there is a difference, so we can tell if we find this in the wild. He's probably, of the two, he's probably the more common one in the secondary market. I've encountered so many Beast Wars Megatrons throughout the years. So, pretty cool. Now, here's the most interesting one, and it's that of Cheetor. Now, Cheetor has already an interesting vintage history in terms of him having 3 different versions within the original run of 1995 to 1999 of Beast Wars. He had his Blue Eye edition, he had his red eye edition, and then he had his green eye edition, which even changed the eyes of the robot mode too. This one is kind of a fusion of a lot of different ideas. It uses the general color scheme of the very first release, uses green eyes on the cheetah mode, but with no pupils like the actual green eye edition from version 3, and uses the orange eyes from the Telemocha release. So it's a mixture of a whole bunch of different things. Also, this image shows that he still has his water squirter, I guess we'll call it intestine gun or gut gun, as it was called back in the day. It isn't painted in, which some people were hoping for, like the original prototype was back in the day. So at least that kind of sucks. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's still cool. It's still cool that they pretty much did a very good job with this one. And it actually is probably debatably slightly better than the original 3 from back in the day. This one's probably, I don't know, just the most of an improvement out of all of them in a lot of ways. And the last one, let's talk about Rat Trap. Now, Rat Trap, again, it's hard to tell because of the lighting and stuff. It looks pretty much like the original, with the exception of the fact that the original Rat Trap toy did have orange eyes on the rat mode. This one here has black eyes to be show accurate, so that's pretty cool that they kind of kept that. The feet on it, like for the rat feet, they look like much whiter than I mean, again, it could just be the photography. It's just me looking at it going like, it looks different than mine in person, but it could be just the photography at the end of the day. So it is something that is still exciting though, because Rat Trap is one of those figures that I'll tell you, anyone who's been to my parts parties and stuff, I've been selling Transformers in the secondary market for years. Rat Trap I probably encountered maybe once or twice in the secondary market, and they're always missing his feet, and they're always missing his gun pieces, because he has the 2 pieces that make his gun. So to get a nice completely mint one that's actually a little more show accurate, that's pretty cool. And they're going to come on these classic blister packs with the Rocky Bubble, with Kenner in the corner and everything, throwing it back to 1996 and being super accurate like that. The one thing, though, that is bizarre is I read somewhere that Cheetor is going to be charged as a deluxe price point, and so is Rat Trap. Historically, this Rat Trap mold was known back in the day as a regular price point or basic, and was considerably, almost 50% cheaper than Cheetor. So the fact that they're going to be charging a deluxe price point for Rat Trap, that's not too cool, to be honest. If that is true from what I'm hearing online, I hope that's incorrect. But I'm also kind of concerned that that might be the case, because I don't think they're going to make a separate price point and do probably like a case of 8 just of Rat Traps. I could see them doing like Optimus, Primal, and Megatron. They're both Ultra classes anyways. There'll be a case of like 2 each and a case of 4. And then Cheetor and Rat Trap will be in that deluxe price point, and there'll be a case of 8, and it'll be 4 of each. And what sucks for that is while it makes it easier for Hasbro for the shipping and to have it just be in the same price point, it sucks for us as the fans, because that Rat Trap is going to be a deluxe price point when it's a basic class figure. It's a shame. But I mean, again, this is just the rumors I've heard, but it kind of makes sense when you really think about how distribution works with retail. So that kind of sucks, but what could you do? Next up, we have some news related to Beast Wars, in that of Hero X magazine, the guys behind the Amazing Generations guidebooks and magazines of Transformers. They announced that they're going to be doing their next Generations Transformers 2021 March edition, and that is going to be coming up super soon. The pre-orders are already up. And it's going to be featuring a brand new story featuring Convoy Bat, or Bat Optimus Primal, and Gator Megatron, or the Alligator Megatron, in a brand new story by Soji Imaki. For people who aren't familiar with the name of Soji Imaki, he was the one who was behind all of the Beast Wars mangas back in the day in the 90s. He did the Beast Wars second one, he did the Beast Wars Neo one, he did the Beast Wars Metals one. That's probably the most well-known that he's done. That's the one that has like the more feminine Air Razor that looks like an anime girl, and Cheetor that looks like a weird Super Saiyan character, and Samurai Tigatron. And we had like it's a nutty manga. I don't even know where to begin with that. But so So Imaki is going to be doing this one. So it's going to be really cool to see a brand new story featuring these two characters and probably even more. It might even be something based in that kind of universe. So that's really cool. Keep an eye out for that. That is going to be shipping out May of the 13th in 2021. You know, on the Discord, I'll find a way to get it and we could all read it together. Always got to plug that. Next up, let's talk about Sparkless Seeker 3-pack. So we also had all of these War for Cybertron Trilogy, Netflix exclusive, Walmart exclusive, multi-packs that were revealed today. And they were actually revealed, I think it was 2 days ago or a day ago. And so we got to see a whole bunch of these. We got to see what's going on with what's their plans for the future. And of course, it gives us a little bit of a visual indication and probably a character indication of who might be appearing in the Kingdom show. Obviously, some of these toys will not be characters appearing in the show, but just throwing back to what has already happened, and Sparkless being an example of that. Sparkless Seeker over here is a example of the Rust Valley, or the Sea of Rust in the Siege episodes. And so it's kind of a throwback to that and these characters. Some people even say there was a character that looked similar to him in Ratchet's medical bay. Not Ratchet. Was it Ratchet? Yeah, it was Ratchet's medical bay. So, hey, it is what it is. The one good news with this set is that it features a Sparkless Singe. And Singe was one of those molds that was extremely difficult to get in Wave 4 of Siege. That was the one that was shared with, what's it called? With Rung, and he was just really tough to get. Really, really tough to get. So you could get a version of Singe over here, and he comes with Caliburst, so yay, Caliburst also. Caliburst was a lot easier to get, though. But hey, if you didn't get a Singe, this is one way to get him, because he was really difficult to get. So, yeah. And now for the one that people are more excited about, and it's the Optimus Primal and Rat Trap 2-pack. Now, some people are asking, like, well, isn't this a little too soon? Like, they're already doing a 2-pack of these two when we still have those characters on the shelves right now. Well, I'll say this for one. Chances are by the time this product hits, which is, let's assume this product comes out around the time of the Kingdom Netflix TV series. That's going to be in July. So by July, we'll probably be in late Wave 2, early Wave 3 of Kingdom product. And these guys are Wave 1. So they'll already be off the shelves. And, I mean, it's still pretty cool. I mean, I dig it. And I understand why they did it. Because, look, these are supposed to represent how they're going to look in the show. They can't be too far off. They can't be crazy repaints. We can't have a Pack Rat Blue Rat Trap with a, Rasta Primal in the browns from Universe 1.0. Like, they need to do stuff that's going to be more indicative of how the show's going to be. And what I did was I actually did a side-by-side here. And on the right, we have the current Kingdom Wave 1 Optimus Primal. And on the left, we have what is this Netflix version. And from what I've seen, looking carefully at it, and again, these photos also, they could be incorrect. It could be the lighting. It could be their CG mock-ups. But I mean, I could see that there's blue feet are different. So there's we have silver feet on this Netflix version. The paint that's done on the chest area is slightly different. I guess the grayer part of the gorilla face is a darker kind of gray, which is actually technically more show accurate to how Primal looked in the old Beast Wars cartoon series on his gorilla face. So there's a lot going on there, but I mean, at the end of the day, they're still pretty similar, so it's not like you're losing out too much. I think if you didn't get it already, maybe get the Netflix one, because it'll probably be slightly cheaper than getting a Rat Trap and a Primal separately. And also, it's slightly better in color scheme, but not much. Again, it's not too much of a big deal. And then let's go to even that of Rat Trap. Look at Rat Trap here. So Rat Trap, on the top, we have the Netflix one. On the bottom, we have the one that is currently available right now, the Core Class Kingdom Wave 1 Rat Trap. The big difference between the two, I mean, I said this in my individual segment on the podcast a few days ago, but I feel like the robot mode, it's almost like they just put like a darker filter over every single color. Like if you had pinker feet, then they were more like washed out and whiter. And all of his colors are like a little more washed out. But it's really in the rat mode that there is a big difference. Anyone that saw my Twitter post of of crazy coke fiend Rat Trap, he has a very white tipped nose this time. It's like very noticeable. And that's something that wasn't a show accurate kind of thing. And it's much more predominant here on this Netflix version. Maybe it'll just be something that they'll do with the Kingdom series. Like he'll just have that white tipped kind of face in the Kingdom one too. I included images of how he looked in the show, and he never had white on his face. It was just, this is something that they're going with this Kingdom version for the Netflix one. People were complaining about how they didn't put the paint that they could have put. Instead of putting it on his face, they could have put it on the tail. They give him a nice pink rat tail like he had in the show. I think that the problem with that is from the gang molding. I think the tail uses the same gray as the rest of other gray areas on Rat Trap, and that just goes with the gang molding. And so you could have technically painted it, but I think they just didn't want to do that. It was just an easier way out. But yeah, there's the differences between those two if you're curious. Personally here, I think I find the core class one is a little nicer, but again, I don't have the this Netflix one in person, so I don't know. We'll find out, obviously, when people start getting them more in hand, and we'll have some side-by-side comparison photos. But as it stands right now, that's all we have to play off of. And it doesn't end. It doesn't end. Just today, what was found in retail? Well, the rest of the War for Cybertron trilogy, Netflix series, Wave 3 stuff. So what's crazy and what's going on here is, number one, it lets us know what's happening with those molds that we saw previously. What was happening with that Barricade mold Sparkless? What was happening with that Quintesson drone Ironhide? What was happening with that different colored, metallic blue Cheetor? So like already now we know what's happening with them. There was all kinds of rumors. These guys are deluxe edition War for Cybertron Wave 3 trilogy figures. And you can see there's 4 characters here. We'll get into that 4th character in a moment, but that pretty much tells us right there, that's the case assortment. We got 1 of each. It's going to be 2 per case of 8. And yeah, pretty awesome. Again, and it probably gives us a strong indication of what's going on in terms of, hey, there's Cheetor. Cheetor is going to probably be in the show. I mean, it's Cheetor. It's pretty much a given. The other ones are obviously different, again, Sea of Rust with the Sparkless over there, the Quintesson drone from Detrius, as he was called, Detrius. So we have that. That's a great mold, by the way. If you don't have that Ironhide mold, if you could get the Crosshairs version, repaint, remold, or this one, that's a great mold. Go out of your way to get that one if you can. The last one we got here is Deep Cover all the way on the right. Oh, I just want to mention that these already are in retail, and they're going for $17.88 or $17.97 probably when Walmart figures out their pricing here with everything. But the last one we'll talk about is that of Deep Cover. Now, Deep Cover was originally a Generation Selects kind of thing, and of course you could obviously buy it from other online retailers, but we have this guy right here, and he's a predominantly, it's kind of like they did reverse colors of the Deep Cover that was in Generation Selects. Obviously the Generation Selects Deep Cover that I'm referring to is in the bottom left there with the black with the blue accents on his head and everything, where the one on the top here is what is the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy exclusive at Walmart. I like it because it reminds me of what we got on the bottom right there. It reminds me a lot of G2 GoBots Sideswipe. And we even have a little, mock-up there of what he would have looked like if the yellows instead of the blacks were put in. I really like it a lot. It looks interesting. It looks interesting. The one thing I don't like about this Deep Cover from the trilogy version is that it takes away his police emblems that made Deep Cover kind of unique. You could kind of see them there with the image on the bottom right. He had it on the lower part of his chest and on the side of the car doors. So it's kind of a shame that those tampos were taken off. Obviously, they're going to have all this worn out War for Cybertron stuff. And a thing too, I don't think this is going to indicate that we're going to have Deep Cover in the Kingdom Netflix series. I think this is just more of a throwback to what was going on with Siege. And I'm pretty sure there's some blue sideswipe in the background somewhere. There was tons of army builders and all those molds and everything. So it is what it is. But that's it. And that's it more or less for the news. It was quite a bit. There was quite a lot of stuff. I just want to take this time to give a shout out to our sponsors who make our shirts and who make our pins. Symbiote Studios, who make the Transformer plush series, the Transformer pin series, and the t-shirts. And, of course, they do G.I. Joe and a whole bunch of other ones. Check out their pin series. I love their pins. I'm wearing their Optimus right now. I have to get used to this. It comes in these ones, too. And also, of course, certain plushes also come with corresponding pins, too. So if you pick up certain ones, you'll get that. And the Bumblebee is almost sold out. There's very little left. So if you haven't picked up Bumblebee, swing by and get Bumblebee. SymbioteStudios.com. Go to their Transformer section. Here's a teaser for Wave 2 that's going to be coming soon of Grimlock and Starscream. They were going to be showing up very, very soon in retail. So, well, not in retail, in their warehouse and on their website. So be sure to check that out. Really awesome stuff. And also, if you're a video game fan, they recently have been working with Tripwire, which is a video game studio that made the game Maneater. Maneater, for people that are not aware, is a shark open world RPG simulator. Very similar to that of the Jaws video game from back in the day of the old LJN regular Nintendo era. So there's a new plush out on their website too. So if you're a fan of Maneater, here's the Maneater pup, because in the game you start as a little shark and you work your way up to being a big beefy shark. So you can pick up Maneater for $19.99 on SymbioteStudios.com. Check them out. The link is in the description if you want to. Again, Maneater's a pretty cool game. Check it out. A little gory though, so viewer discretion is advised. And that's it for the news. I just wanted to talk about what I picked up this week. Came in the mail. I got it a little late because some people know this story. I got me my Micromasters Galactic Odyssey Collection set. I originally ordered this on Amazon.ca, and I ordered it like months in advance, and then literally a week before these were supposed to ship out, they canceled on me, and I told them off like crazy because I was furious because this was the set I was looking forward to the most. I ended up just ordering off of Amazon.com, the American one, and as a result, it would mean that everyone would get it a week before me, and I would get mine delayed. I got it today at least, so yay! I got my mask Micromasters. They're so cool, and of course, you know, the nice map and everything. I know this sounds like sacrilege, but I mean, if Transformers kind of continue this kind of packaging, I won't hate. I kind of like it. I have the other set that's on its way, the Botropolis Micromaster set and everything. But again, because I ordered it from the States to play it safe, I'm going to be getting it a week later. Chances are next time we're doing our little stream here, I'll probably have it to show you guys. But I'm probably going to take some nice photos. Michael Koo, he sent me last week a whole bunch of Siege and Earthrise figures. So I'm going to do some nice photo shoots with this. I'll post it on my Twitter and Instagram, and we could check that out. But yeah, so that's it more or less. Let's enjoy the rest of the evening, take some super chat questions, and talk Transformers. I was originally thinking of having a guest on today, but I think we'll do that another time so we could just kind of talk. It's been such a busy week in terms of everything. Every single day there was something. There was always something dropping. There was always some kind of news. And it's like you guys were getting double news posts in some days. Usually I do like one segment a day. There was so much news that I actually skipped some of the news here. There was a third-party Megatron that I was thinking about talking about also with you guys, but I was just like, you know what? We'll save it for another time. There's just so much. There really is. So we have here... Proto, think Netflix Rat Trap found Shawn Michaels' fanny pack before party. Well, Shawn did have a lot of drugs on him. He was more into the somas, though, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll just take some questions today, and we'll just relax for the evening and just take it easy. I think I saw somewhere also someone posted... about some of the other stuff that we were talking about, the Headmaster stuff before. But we got a super chat question, our first one of the day, coming from Eastman777. If you're playing a slot machine, that is what you want to get. So I guess Eastman is good luck. And Eastman wants to know, hi Proto, happy daylight savings time. Is that today? Is that today? Are you serious? Someone help me out here. Is that today? Oh no, I hope I'm not going to be late for stuff then. Thank you for telling me that if that's true. Best figure of 2021 you have gotten so far. Also, have you or your father ever gone through a selling phase? Well, I'll go through the first figure. Best figure of 2021 so far. I would have to say probably I guess we could count it, Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. Can we count that? Yeah, we could count that. I think that counts as 2021. It's a biased. So you know what? Let's put that one aside. That's a bias because that's a Hot Rod figure. Honestly, like, I think I'm going to really like these guys. I was super excited about these because of the mask homages. I'm going to dig up my old mask figures to kind of like do side-by-sides of these. And it gives us G1 Barricade. I really liked the Fossilizer. I thought Black Arachnia was really good too because that, like, as someone who owns the Masterpiece one, talk about something that's the Masterpiece engineering for people for retail. Like, there's just so much good stuff. But so far, it's a tough one. So far, I'd have to unfortunately say like Hot Rod, just because it's perfect, but it's crazy. For the second part of your question, has you or your father ever gone through a selling phase? Let me start with my dad, okay? For people who don't know, my father's also a toy collector and a like a vinyl record collector. I did a beautiful segment of, like, I was interviewing my dad and showing his toy collection and stuff just to let people know where you see my nice displays here? My dad has the same thing for his toys. Where do you think the inspiration came from? Them and the Lucas brothers, actually. But my father, forget about it. Him with selling, if he has like triples or something, he keeps all three. Forget about it. There is no way my dad sells. He is the worst with that. His son, on the other hand, I never went through a selling phase where I was like selling my personal collection, but I always am the kind of person, if I somehow get two of something, I always sell it to. My logic is, if you end up with two of something through some way, sell it so you could buy something else, I've never went through a consolidating phase where I was going through my Transformer collection, getting rid of stuff. I've been collecting nonstop since, like, I would just, like, when you're a kid, I don't really count that as being a collector, because those are presents you get, because I got Micromasters as a kid and G1 Optimus Prime trailers from like thrift stores and stuff. But I would have to say it started in '96 with my sister. My sister picked up Rhinox, and I picked up a Red Eye Cheetor 1996 soft bubble Beast Wars, and then it exploded from there. Obviously I had my old G1 toys from when I was a kid, but I don't count that as like when I was a collector. But me and my sister, I was 14 at the time, and my sister was 13, and it just went nuts. It just went crazy, and the rest was history. And I've never sold anything from personal collection, but when I did get doubles or something, even if I have a figure that like spikes in value, I would never go like, okay, I'm going to get rid of it or something. But yeah, I've never really gone through a selling phase. Maybe other stuff, like other toy lines and stuff, maybe, but never my Transformers. Never. I'm so proud of everything that I've, grown up to this point over like such a long time. Like it's got to be, what is it, like 26 years now I've been collecting or something officially. And that's, that's not even counting all the other stuff that I have in my collection that's not Transformer related. But yeah, thank you for the question. Thanks for the super chat, Eastman777. You are good luck. We got a super chat question from Downright Superb, who's the awesome super chatter that drops the awesome questions every single stream. And he wants to know, Rodimus Prime needs a redesign. In my humble opinion, the Space Winnebago is lame. If he needs a trailer, it should be an armor like Ultra Magnus. Well, it's funny because, like, we think back to something like the Power of the Primes, where that was kind of like an armor Power Master Optimus Prime kind of thing, but with the Rodimus Power of the Primes. Now, granted, there was the evolution gimmick that was going on there, and that's what they were trying to do. And then you look at like what Fans Project was doing back in the day in 2008, 2009, more than 10 years ago, with their like armor kits and stuff for Classics Rodimus or Classics Hot Rod. And it's the thing is that people want the G1 designs, and if they would have went radically off the road, I think people would have complained. You would have been able, honestly, no joke, downright superb, you would have been able to get away with that, like during that universe era, like classics universe era. But we kind of reached this point now where like every single generation's esque kind of toy has to be like a mini G1 masterpiece as best they can. Like look at like recently we got like Sunstreaker, and even like the the RC that we got. They didn't try to go for a different RC. They just tried to do yet again another car RC in a different way, even though we got a really good one in Generations and the Legends line. Again, I would like it just because I'd like a different Rodimus, just a different take. Like look over here, you can't really see it too well. You can a little bit. See, there's like that's the Titaniums one where he transforms with the trailer. And Don Figueroa, who is the engineer for all the 6-inch lines of the Titaniums, like he was able to figure out a way to do it, and it worked very well, and had a very buff Obari kind of design. I really like that one. It's one of the, and it's not even a bias, it's one of the better 6-inch Titaniums, along with probably Cheetor, and maybe the Grimlock was also really good too. But I have the whole set of them there. I love those guys. They're kind of cool. And Don Figueroa was carte blanche. He was able to do whatever he wanted. So, but either way, I mean, I agree with you. I think it would be cool to see something different with the character in the near future. But again, thank you for the question, brother. Thank you for the question. We have a gold super chat. Gold super chat. Thank you very much. Stinkfist69. I always love saying his name. Stinkfist69 with the gold super chat. And he wants to know, wanted to say what's up and have a great show. Can't stick around tonight. Got family visiting and I'll be back next week. Just sending my support. Well, thank you, Stinkfist69. You always support every single super chat. And that's really cool of you, brother. Like it's really awesome to have people that love what we do here on the podcast. And, I try to deliver the goods every single week. Every single day, give you guys something, and a nice cool Saturday to hang out and stuff and everything like that. We got a super chat from Joseph Ritter, and Joseph wants to know, hair on point tonight, is it? It's kind of a mess tonight. Question, with SDCC happening in November, when do you think we will have a TFCon next? Oof, I don't know. You know what? In all honesty, this is a question that well, it's not even a question, it's a conversation that I have with people almost on a daily situation. I literally had this conversation with Jaws D yesterday. Like yesterday I was on the phone with Jaws D and I was going like, yo, like I don't think we're going to be doing any cons this year. I mean, I don't want to get into the weeds of it too much, but it's just like, look, it's a matter of the big V and is the world ready yet? And border crossing, and look, there's people that are guests that come from different parts of the globe, and when you can't even do that kind of stuff, and isolation and all kinds, I wouldn't hold my breath for San Diego. I wouldn't hold my breath for TFCon. Don't take my word 100% for it, but it's my own humble opinion of just like where we are right now. I need a little more confidence. Before I think we're going to start opening up. And one thing that I gives me my answer more than anything is I talk with my hotel rental guy, because I run my own conventions here in Montreal, and I talk with my hotel rental guy all the time. And he talks with Health Canada. And Health Canada always tell them, hey man, 500 by 500, that's the space. You can have 100 people in it. 500 by 500. But the thing is, in a 500 by 500 space, you could fit about comfortably like 50 tables, let's say. And 50 tables for the dealers, if each dealer has 2 people at a table, that's 100 people right there. That means the deal room's already full and you haven't even put a single person in there yet. So it's the logistics just aren't there. And San Diego Comic-Con, you've been there, Joseph. You know San Diego Comic-Con. It's a sardine fest any other day of the year. How would they do it during the Big V is a whole other animal. It would be absolutely bonkers. So I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. We're going to have to be in a really different world before we could get back to it. I joke about it all the time. I talk with people, and going like, anyways, I'll see you in 2025. And sometimes I'm not joking when I say that, because it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal. Like, trust me, I want to be back in the con season. I want to be back being able to look spring. Like, I'm Canadian. I only get so much time for summer. Right now it's starting to look. It's still cold. It's starting to get warmer. I could start wearing and don't have to wear like 2 jackets to go outside. I could wear like a light sweater. But it's, I want to be able to enjoy my summer, and I won't be able to yet again because of this, and be able to go to cons and run conventions and all that kind of stuff. We'll see what happens. Again, this is something where I want to be wrong about it. I want that tomorrow everything is fixed and we're back to normal. But so far that is not the case. Next question we got. Hey, Proto, with Wave 2 popping up in retail, how long until Wave 3 is announced? Well, the thing is, usually it's something where Hasbro has a planned date, but the problem with American, or I'll just say Western retail in general, because Canada is also guilty of this, is it really has to do with the distributors for each individual. So, like, to give an example, give me a best example. I wish Aaron Archer was here too, because he would also explain it similar. Like Walmart, right? Every Walmart has their own individual distributors for their region, for their area, for their state, for your Walmart that you visit, your Walmarts that you visit every single week. And it's all up to them. The guy who's the manager of the toy section in your Walmart, if he goes to the Transformer area and sees the SKU and just goes, it's still pretty packed, he's not going to order more cases of a wave, let alone get to Wave 3. So it's something where you might even be knee deep in Wave 3 season and you wouldn't even know it, because distribution. Combined with the fact, and I've had this discussion many times, sometimes stuff just shows up and you never see it. Shows up, one case, everything gets cracked open and then gets eaten up. In terms of when Wave 3 is going to show up, my estimation, probably May. That's what I want to say, because Wave 2 is just starting to show up. People are just finding Dinobot and AirRaiser and Inferno and Huffer and the crew. So I'm going to say let's aim May. But even then, even though it's May, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Like like Japan is a lot better with their shipping dates and distribution, because they're like, this is the United States, this is Japan. Japan is just this small little, and they're able to cover more ground. It's a lot easier. It's one thin little country, all one time zone. A lot easier to do distribution and do like today's the day when all this product goes out. Where here in America, it's like, oh, there's a Walmart in Albuquerque that has all of Wave 3 all of a sudden. Look at the news. Look, this news today. No warning, just broke street dates. Here it is, out of nowhere. So we'll see what happens with that. It's hard to predict that kind of stuff. But thank you for the question, my friend. Hey, Proto, why was Kenner involved with Beast Wars development? Couldn't Hasbro do it themselves? Oof, oh man, brother. Kenner did Beast Wars because before Beast Wars was Generation 2. And that was Hasbro. Hasbro did Generation 2 and it flopped terribly. G2 did not do good at all. And G2 started on very modest footing. When they started G2, okay, we're going to take G1 Prime's mold, we'll retool it a bit, give it a voice box, but we're not going to spend too much time on R&D and engineering. We're going to take the Dinobots, we're just going to give them some new colors, and give them some colors that confuse it with a Bandai product that's coming out that same year, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that ended up becoming way more popular than Transformers and becoming a global brand freak out known as Power Rangers. You know, we're going to take the Constructicons, we're going to take the aerial bots, Bruticus. They tried to play it very safe. They didn't make a new show. They just took G1 episodes, slapped some CG in the front and the back, and put it out there. The only thing that was really new was, like, there was new comic, 12 issues, which got canceled right away. And then they made new figures as the line progressed in different waves. We got, like, you know, Rapido and all the other guys, and, you know, the aerial bots and taking their shots, and the laser rods and everything like that. But it was a complete disaster. It didn't do well. G2 flopped, and Hasbro's like, you know what? F it. We're done. You know, we're done with Transformers. Why don't we just give it to the Kenner brand? The Kenner brand is doing really good right now with Star Wars. They just had started their Power of the Force line, which was making big money for them. So if they're good with the Star Wars brand, maybe they could be good with our Transformers brand. And that's the thing. Like, if you look at old... Here, let me just pull one up here. You know, like, if you look at... Oh, this is a bad example because this is European. But if you look at old Beast Wars stuff, Transformers is like this little part at the bottom. It was all about Beast Wars. Transformers. You know? This is a bad example, though, because this is European packaging with Biocombat. But, you know, the point is that Kenner did it because Hasbro didn't want to touch it. And there's a whole history that actually McDonald's was involved with the decision to go with the Beasts over, like, vehicles and stuff. And at the end of the day, it's when Beast Wars became huge and did super successfully. And then what happened? Oh. Guess who's back? Back again. The second they got to Transmetals with Season 2 and Beast Wars was a huge success, Hasbro took it back. So... there's just that small little piece of history there. That's why Kenner did it. And that's how we got Aaron Archer, because Aaron Archer was part of the Kenner brand of Hasbro. And then he transitioned onto Transmetal 2s and worked on Dinobot and the Dragon Megatron, or Transmetal 2 Megatron, I guess we could call him. And the rest is history with that. We got a super chat from Downright Superb, and he wants to know, you say they do the Autobot trademark for generic names. Can they separate Star Saber, Ship, and Robot and call them Autobot Star and Autobot Saber? They could, technically. They could. It's something where there's a lot of ways to solve those simple problems. But also, the thing with Hasbro is they want to own it. Like, Autobot Ratchet, there's not much they could do. They're just looking at it going like, look, we want to own Ratchet, but we can't. So we just got to do that Autobot Ratchet route, and that's all we could do. Star Saber, I'm pretty sure they first of all, number one, they could own it. That's the thing. They just have that stubbornness because of that stupid Star Wars brand and the brand confusion that could come from that. With the lightsaber and the Star Wars lightsaber, Star Saber, you know, it's a headache. It really is. But that's the primary thing, is that I feel they want to own it because they trademarked Wing Saber with Energon. You can barely see Wing Saber over here, but they trademarked Wing Saber with Energon. And they kept it, and then they let it roll over, you know. But they did it with a character that looked a lot like Star Saber from Wing Saber in the Super Link Energon line. Then they did Victory Saber, which they did. They were gonna trademark it. We have the packaging, we have the prototypes of the samples of Victory Saber and Deathsaurus as a set for the Robot Heroes line. They were gonna trademark Victory Saber, and then it just kind of fell through. I think, personally, we will get a Star Saber someday, and I feel they're probably going to go with Victory Saber. I think that's the safer bet, but I mean, it could be different because they might want to do Star Saber individually and Victory Leo, and then have the Victory Saber thing, so they don't want to create that brand confusion. Many years ago, they brought over Overlord's PVC, and they couldn't even call it that. And that creates brand confusion. I think they called it Superion, if I remember correctly. So it was a mess. It's very difficult with that character. And I would love to see him in some kind of retail form here in America, but it's always been very difficult to get him over here. But thank you for the question, brother. I love my Star Saber. Me and James Roberts, man, we always clash on that because he likes to use Star Saber in a very negative way, and I've never been a fan of that. We have hello, fellow Montrealer. Got back into TF collecting. Oh, we have a Montrealer here. What up, G? Poutine and hockey. Just got back into Transformer collecting. Since when I was a kid, has Our True and Walmart been this bad with restocking merch, or is just the symptom of the big V? Well, Duros Palma. I don't know how long you've been toy hunting. Toys R Us has always been kind of iffy in our city. The best Toys R Us for the longest time back in the day was the West Island one, Dollar des Ormeaux. But now that one isn't the best one anymore. It's always been kind of garbo. We have language laws. That affects a lot of things. That affects a lot of distribution. That affects a lot of what gets bought and what isn't get brought over. It's never good. Not to mention because we don't have many of them, and we're a city that is very reliant on public transit. If you have a Toys R Us or a Walmart and it's near a metro, don't go to that one. The scalpers are eating up those ones. You want to find product that you're looking for? Go off the beaten path. Get off the island of Montreal and find a Walmart or Toys R Us out there. You have a better chance, my friend. That's the advice I'll give you there. Take it from me, who has to do his own toy hunting. It's not easy. It's not because of the big V, though. It's just because we have a lot of people that just buy up stuff. There's someone I know in the fandom, and it sucks because it's someone that I've known for a while, and I ended up finding out by mistake because I was just on Facebook Marketplace, and I was just like looking for Transformer stuff to buy, and then I saw he was scalping. He bought all the roundabouts. Is it runabout? Yeah. He bought all the runabouts and the thrusts. He bought them all, and he had like 6 of them, and he was scalping them at like $60 a piece on Marketplace. And I was like, man, that's not cool. You know, like everyone in the city is having a tough time, and here he just goes in, swoops, and buys them all. And now he's like trying to ask $60. That's not cool, man. And he doesn't know that I know. I don't know. I'm going to have to approach him in person one day and talk to him about it. You know, got a big dog him. But either way, hope that helps a little bit, my friend. And thank you for being a fan from Montreal, yo. From Montreal. Dear Proto, do you think a new Rodimus trailer could be a repaint retool into Thunderclash? It wouldn't be the first time that idea has come up. The old BotCon 2009? I think it's BotCon 2009. Wish I could turn the camera and show you. Yeah. Oh, no, it's not going to work. Damn it. BotCon 2009 had a Thunderclash that used a Rodimus mold. So it's not off the table. Something that could be done. And not to mention, like, you know, when you think about a character like Thunderclash that has a mouth, you know, unless you have like a really good, like, let's say an Optimus figure like this one that actually has a mouth, you want to use a leader character that actually has a mouth and not a mouth plate. And so you're more likely to use a Rodimus than, let's say, an Optimus, a Star Saber. Maybe an Ultra Magnus could work too. Yeah, actually, Thunderclash is more of an Ultra Magnus character, if anything. He has the 2 little missiles on the side. But either way, the way that I see it, my friend, like, I could see some point, you know, Rodimus or Ultra Magnus being a repaint into Thunderclash. But like maybe like a heavy retool or something. And then we could get a Machine Wars repaint down the line, because I love Machine Wars. Love me my Machine Wars. Me and Josh Burcham. Gotta love it. Hey, Proto, suppose Deep Cover is in the Netflix kingdom. Do you think we'll play a big role or a small piece? My brother, it's going to be 6 episodes. It's going to be 21 minutes. I think everyone's going to get a small piece. You know what I always... You know, I was just having this discussion in our Discord. How, like, the spoiler box never is anything important. Like we had the spoiler box of Ultra Magnus, and it's like, oh, he's dead. That's it. And then the spoiler box for Earthrise, and it's like, oh, it's a Black Optimus. We saw him for like 3 seconds in a dream. So whatever the spoiler box is, it's probably going to be also something not too significant. There's rumors of what it is, but I don't want to really get too much into that because it's still considered a spoiler. So I'm going to leave that out for now. But we'll see what happens with that. Proto, why hasn't Hasbro revisited War Within or War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron designs and generations? It'd be a good way for Hasbro to keep putting out usual characters like Optimus Prime and Starscream. I think it's just timing. They did those War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron designs at the time when the video game was a thing. Same thing with the War Within designs. The War Within designs, I think those only happened just because, again, Don Figueroa had carte blanche. He could do whatever he wanted. They gave him the 6-inch line and they said, Don, here's a list of characters. We want you to do those characters. But they didn't say what designs. That's why we got like Beast Machine's Cheetor. That's why we got War Within Ultra Magnus and War Within Grimlock and War Within Jetfire, because it was just Don going, okay, then I'm going to do what I want to do. And Don's pretty awesome. One of my favorite books is War Within. That's a great miniseries. And one of the great books that Dreamwave did that really I like to feel is almost in continuity with G1 in a lot of ways. And, I'd love to see those designs again outside of third party. Third party seems to be our route now if we want to get those old designs done in any kind of modern form today. But it's just timing. It's just them going like, look, we want to do these kind of designs to match what we're doing right now. With the, Netflix is going to influence a little bit of how the progression is. I think that this is very important to keep in mind. Whatever Hasbro is going to do next after Kingdom is going to be important because it's going to be a strong reflection of what's going to be moving forward, toy-wise, fiction-wise, and probably even in a small way, what might even be happening in the movies. So keep that in mind. Whatever we get, man. Whatever we get. But thank you for the question, man. Where are we at? Hey, Proto, how was the smoke screen from last week? I had not opened him yet. You guys made me worried. I had not opened him yet. I just opened RC. I messed with RC for a bit from that case assortment. I'm going to be opening Airwave to use with these boys. So expect a photo shoot of Airwave with the crew, the Micromaster crew. And then probably Smokescreen will be last with kid gloves. I'm going to be very careful. But yeah, thank you for the question. Hey, Proto, did you like Ron Perlman's voice as Optimus Primal in Power of the Primes? It was okay. I mean, it's going to be pretty tough to beat Gary Chalk. Gary Chalk is one of those voice actors. Him, David Kay, Scott McNeil, Ian, like those are like, if there's like a hall of fame of voice actors in terms of like what they've done for the industry, and even like, someone like Gary that's been in Hollywood movies even, it's pretty tough to beat Gary Chalk's Optimus. Like, and for the longest time, Gary was Optimus Prime even more than Peter Cullen was at one point. Like, he had done more episodes of Armada, Energon, and Cybertron as Optimus Prime, and had done more episodes than even Peter did at one point. Now Peter has taken over since then. But I can never take away Gary Chalk's amazing voice. And an amazing guitarist, too. Go on YouTube and type Gary Chalk TFCon guitar. He would do little concerts for everybody, singing all kinds of songs. At the time, what was the movie that was out at the time? The superhero movie, Watchmen was out, and he was doing the soundtrack from the Watchmen. He had all the stuff from there. We got a super chat from Sean McTaggart. Sean, thank you for the super chat question. And Sean wants to know, so when do you think we'll see Galvatron and the Ark? I'm pretty surprised we haven't seen them yet. Well, this Monday we have the Hasbro Walmart Collector Con. If this already hasn't ruined everything, we're going to see that stuff Monday. I think Galvatron, which is going to be Wave 3, along with the Ark, that'll be Wave 3, Wave 3.5. We're going to learn all about that just in time for the TV series. My prediction, April, May, Hasbro will give us something. I think they want those Unicrons to get into everyone's hands. Get those Unicrons, that big mofo, get that into their hands. Let that marinate for a bit, and then have that in display and put on the side. And then when that's done, and the recovery period, now they want their next big figure, bam, here's the arc. And they actually did an interview. Lucas, what do you call it? One of the Lucas brothers from Unicron.com did an interview with Hasbro about Unicron, and they were talking about the stand that comes with Unicron that has the little minifigs and the little ships and stuff. And they said that there's 2 extra spots for future big figures in the future that'll have little ships with them. So I think that they were teasing a nemesis. Could be. I'm going to talk about that more in the future in a segment. But I wanted kind of Unicron.com segment to get its viewers and traffic before I do a segment about it. And then it all funnels to me. I don't want to do that. It's not fair to the Lucas brothers. They're awesome human beings, and they do such good work in the Transformer fandom. So check out their interview. It's a 40-minute interview with Hasbro about Unicron and all the little things that were going on. Pretty cool stuff. Unicron.com. Or just, I think their Twitter has it posted on there too. Unicron.com. How do you think voice actors should approach voicing classic characters? For example, no one will ever match Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime. How would you tell a voice actor to approach the role? Well, I know, like, what was his name there? Neil Kaplan, when he did Optimus Prime for Robots in Disguise, he was pretty much trying to channel Peter Cullen. I always feel that we just have certain characters that we have an expectation. And it's going to be really tough to kind of change those expectations unless there's a drastic continuity change or design change. Like, you think of Dan Gilbazon's Bumblebee, and then you think of Bumper Robinson's Bumblebee. Bumper Robinson was animated Bumblebee. That was a lot more rat trap in a lot of ways, a lot more whiny, and yet both of those worked. So, and then you look at David Kaye's animated Optimus Prime compared to Peter Cullen's Optimus Prime. It's something where if you are able to pull it off and do something different and people will like it, then it's safe. But it's the same thing. It's like a double-edged sword. If you do something different and people hate it, you know what they're going to say. They're going to say, well, the reason why it wasn't good was because he was trying to do something different and da-da-da. But you know what's a funny thing? Judd Nelson, the voice of Hot Rod. You know, when he revisited the role of Hot Rod for the Go 90 Machinima, I guess we'll call it the Prime Wars trilogy, those really bad CG trilogy things. Imagine they got back the original voice actor of Hot Rod, but you know, you're talking Judd Nelson 30 years later. He's not the young Bender from, you know, Breakfast Club anymore. And his voice was more gravelly, and it just, I don't know. And it was also a single booth studio voice acting session, so it's hard to do proper voice acting. But sometimes even bringing back the original voice actor doesn't do the job. You know, for every Sue Blue who's like, you know, evergreen perfect with her voice, or Peter Cullen or Frank Welker, you know, there's guys that haven't done the voice in years, and when they revisit it, it's just not the same. You know, even Peter, and I love Peter's Optimus Prime, but go back and watch G1. It's a lot more younger. It's a lot more John Wayne, a lot more relaxed, his Optimus Prime, where, you know, Transformers Prime, which is when, in my opinion, he truly returned to the role full-time. You know, obviously he did the Bay movies, but there wasn't many lines in that, unfortunately, for the robots. But like full-time voice acting for Transformer Prime, it's a lot more preachy. A lot more, we must stop the Decepticons, because if we don't stop the Decepticons, they will defeat us. Where, you know, I find that, you know, G1 Optimus Prime was, you know, a lot more like, the battle is approaching us. We must do this. Autobots transform. And like, it was a lot more, there was a different pace and tone to it. And I you know, even then, and that's the same voice actor returning to his role. David Kaye's another one, though. Someone mentioned David K there. David K is another one that, like, his Megatron will be perfect forever. Perfect forever. He revisited Beast Wars Megatron years later for Robot Chicken, for that little sketch that he did with the Robo Panda. So, David K is easily probably my top voice actor of all time. Probably. I love him so much. He's so talented. Him and Scott McNeil, it's a tough one. They're two dudes that are just incredible. And they both came from like that Ocean Group anime world, voice acting Rama 1/2 and Dragon Ball and stuff. So, anyways, hey Proto, any idea if we will be continuing the current scale for figures going forward? Well, I wouldn't say scale, but definitely price point. Hasbro really likes that deluxe price point, the Scout price point, or what they call core right now, Voyager, Leader. I think that's all that's just going to change is really how they distribute that price. I mean, look what deluxes were back in 2008 as opposed to today. They're obviously smaller and they use a little bit less paint. Sometimes worse for wear in more ways than one. Jesus. But at the end of the day, I think you're going to still have the same price points, the same kind of price structure. It's just maybe the product just won't be as up to snuff. I'm really curious, those Beast Wars reissues, how they're going to be today. Like, you know, are they going to really have to... Because, like, the price point, the crazy thing is $39.99 for Ultra Class Optimus Primal. That's only $10 more than what it used to be back in the day. So I'm really curious how the plastic's going to feel, what country it's going to be made in. Is it going to be Vietnam or is it going to be China? I'm really curious with that one because that's an example of here's the past and how we made toys and the plastic, and here's the present, and I want to see that comparison. In the same way that, like, when you mess with this, you know, this G1 reissue Hot Rod, you see there still is differences. They got rid of the pins, you know, so they didn't have to deal with the metal. Like they had to do little engineering changes to modernize it within the budget that exists today. Hey, Pro, do you ever think we'll get a HasLab driller for Studio Series? I don't think so. I think if they're going to do something HasLab with Transformers again, I think it's going to have to be something that's cheaper and safer in terms of mainstream. Like, think about it. Unicron was a tough road. It was a tough road. They said, like, oh, you know, like, we didn't have 8,000, and then, like, in the last day, we got up to like 12, I think they said. But even then, those numbers, I can't confirm them if they're true or not. But it's something that the way I see it is, you know, they're going to have to do something in Transformers that's mainstream popular. I could see, like, if they would have not done the Arc with Kingdom, I could have seen the Arc being something with HasLab. The flip side of that is the rumors is, number one, they want to discontinue Titan class in retail. And instead of doing one Commander a year that we're used to, one Jetfire, one Skylynx, one Rodimus, they want to do 2 Commanders a year instead, which is great because then we could have, like, you know, more flavor of characters in that price point. The bad of it is that means that we're going to be losing Titan in retail. But I think, and this is just a rumor, I think what they're going to do is they're going to then transfer Titan class figures to being a HasLab thing. And I think that that's where, just like how we have the Arc, we're going to have the Nemesis, and it's going to be through HasLab. That's just my theory. Again, me reading between the lines with the interviews that Hasbro's been doing and trying to make sense of what will be the future for the brand when it comes to that. Do you think Hasbro will bring Commander class or Titan class Studio Series? Well, we got, you know, we have the closest thing to a Commander class was, or even something of like a Titan class, was the box set of Devastator for Revenge of the Fallen, which I don't even think it falls under those price points. But that does exist. The success of that will then determine if they'll do more of that. If like I always say, if a top tier character doesn't sell very well, it's going to be very tough to sell the second tier characters. Elves Bleed 57 says Black Zarek. You know what? The crazy thing with Hasbro is when you look at all the Titans we've had before, they don't do the easy repaints with them. Did we get Metro Titan with Metroplex? Did we get? We were going to get a proper Grand Maximus with Pretender Shell, and then that didn't sell well, and the Pretender Shell got canceled. The Grand Maximus still happened. We never got Brave Maximus from Fortress Maximus. Did we get G2 Devastator? Did we get... Well, you can't do anything really with Predaking. Did we get Gigastorm with Trypticon? Did we get... I could go on. Did we get anything with, Omega Supreme, like the Omega Sentinels or something? No. Like, it doesn't end. Like, they don't do repaints. And so when we get to now at this point with Scorponok, Black Zarek, probably not, unfortunately. Probably not. Yeah, even Grand Maximus was a struggle. Didn't even make 3,000 units, which is crazy when you think about that. Didn't even make Unicron, supposedly, has over 8,000 units. Grand Maximus has less than 3? That's crazy. That's crazy numbers. There's BotCon exclusives that have more numbers. That's crazy. Proto, they can make a Titan class repaints, but make them limited run. No, see, here's the thing. The smaller the run is, the more expensive the product is. Because how it works with margins. To give it like simple math, and this is not a one-for-one example, if a figure has 100 units, the figure is going to be $100. No, let me make it even simpler. If a figure has 100 units, the figure is going to be $50. If the figure sells 1,000 units, the figure could be $30. If the figure sells 10,000 units, or is made 10,000 units, the figure could be $30. If it's 1,000,000 units, it could be a $20 figure. And that's the margins. So when you have something like a retail Power of the Primes figure or like Kingdom of Cheetor, and you have millions of units, tons of cases, every single Walmart, every single Target, all the United States, all of Canada, all of Europe, all the world, millions of these Cheetors everywhere, you could sell them at the deluxe price point you're used to. But if that same Cheetor was only 1,000 made and it was a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, it's got to be a $40 figure or a $50 figure. You make it less units and it's a big figure, it's going to be expensive. And I think that's why Unicron was so pricey too, was because they didn't know if it was going to be big. They didn't know it was going to be successful. So they played it safe, going, well, if we only make 8,000 margin units, that'll cover it. So, but yeah, that kind of helps answer that a little bit. Hey, Proto, do you have the Nightbeat Godokuru Guru? Yes, I do, actually, with the special head for bald Ginrai, I guess we could call it, high Q. I have all three of those. I have the Minerva, the Nightbeat Minerva, and the Ginrai, because I love Master Force. If I remember correctly, I think I bought my Nightbeat one from Vangelis, if I remember correctly. I think I bought it from... I think so. Or was that my Ginrai I bought from... I don't remember. I know I bought something from him. I know I bought my Minerva from Ami Ami. My main Minerva. I did a whole video review of it back in the day. Did the whole history. The whole history of all of that. Crazy stuff. We only got half an hour left, guys, just to let you know, for the super chats and everything. I'll take a moment to also let you guys, again, Symbiote Studios. Be sure to check their stuff out. They are the sponsor of the podcast, symbiotestudios.com. Get their stuff. Cool shirts. Soundwave Superior. I like that. Guys, got to make more Transformer shirts. I want to have more Transformer shirts. Proto, think we'll get Studio Series 86 Devastator despite the existence of a CW reissue due to the predominance of appearance in the movie. I think, look, Studio Series 86 is going to be around for a long time. You don't need to rush it. We're going to be talking about Studio Series 86, no joke, 5 years from now. We will be. We will be. They're going to pace it. They're going to pace it. Like right now, it's like we have Studio Series 86 stuff. The second that next live action movie comes out, that's going to stop, and they're going to start throwing those characters in there. When the live action movies like momentum stops, and then they're like the in between, then they're going to throw some more Studio Series 86 characters again. So when I say that we're going to be talking about this 5 years from now, there's going to be a nice distance from a Devastator toy or a Devastator trademark, and then it'll make sense for them to do it. Could be a straight up reissue of the Titan, like you just said, or they'll just do something in the Commander class. Who knows? Who knows? They'll do something new. Chillwave, it's your birthday? Is it your birthday, brother? You're lucky you dodged. It wasn't a Friday the 13th birthday. Happy birthday, Chillwave. Hope you got some cool stuff. Having a birthday during the Big V must be kind of frustrating, I can only imagine. I know for me it was a way to dodge a bullet for not having to have a party. Whew. That's a good one. But happy birthday, my friend. Proto, what if HasLab did Axelon and Darkseid ships? I'd love that. I'd love that, but I'd love it if they were non-transforming. I don't need my Axelon and my Darkseid to transform. Unfortunately, if they did do it, they're going to want to make it transform. I would just love like a big play set that's like, that could work with like the deluxe figures, and it would just be so cool. And you'd have like the top floor would be the actual meeting room where the Maximals hang out and stuff, and the bottom floor could be where the Sentinel program and the core is, and where the stasis pods would get stored and stuff like that. And then you could have the corridor that has all the different separate rooms for all the different people, like Rat Trap's room and Dinobot's room and Cheetor's room. And you have like the little panel, the hidden panel with everyone's weapons from the episode Possession. I would love that. I would love that so much, because Beast Wars is just the bee's knees, so to speak. We have a super chat question from Ryan Darkclaw. Darkclaw's actually a amalgam character from Marvel DC. Ryan Darkclaw 643, and he wants to know, hey Proto, 1, are Beast Wars anime canon to the main Beast Wars series? And 2, you think they will do After War for Cybertron like Japanese Master series? So, answer your first question. Beast Wars anime is canon. The thing is that people don't realize, and I want to pull up the Kissplay book. One sec, guys. So the Kissplay book, I don't want to show this side. Woo! Little racy that side because it's Kissplay. But the Kissplay anime book, what was cool about it was it actually gave us a definitive Generation 1 Beast Wars timeline. And when you get all the way to the end, it's pretty thick in here. Like it's all in Japanese, but they count Beast Wars 2nd and Beast Wars Neo happen way after Beast Machines. So it's kind of like, if you want to talk about the Generation 1 continuity, Japanese Generation 1 continuity, it ends with Beast Wars Neo, and we really haven't had anything after that since, unless you count like, dimension hopping Sakamoto stuff and everything. But so it is canon, and it happens after Beast Machines. And Beast Wars Neo is a pretty good series, so definitely check it out. And your second question is, you think they will do After War for Cybertron like the Japanese Master series is? I still firmly believe After War for Cybertron we're going to probably have something that's more Unicron Trilogy. I really do. Would I like if I had a choice between Unicron Trilogy or like Master Force, Victory, and Japanese stuff? Of course, I would want that more. But I just feel from a business standpoint and the market and the kids that grew up in that generation, kids who grew up with Armada Optimus Prime and Energon Optimus Prime in 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, that bubble of the Unicron Trilogy, those kids are in their mid to late 20s now, and they are a buying powerhouse. You can't deny that. So I would definitely like think it's going in that route just because it just makes sense. But thank you for the question in the super chat, brother. I hope that helps answer. But yeah, the Japanese anime Beast Wars stuff is canon. It'll always be canon. The stuff that's not canon, it's its own micro continuity, is the manga versions. Beast Wars Second's manga and Beast Wars Neo manga, that's on the side. That's a different story. We got another super chat question from Downright Superb. In my humble opinion, the Cybertron names for Beast Wars are Speedor, Claptrap, Iron Ox, short for Iron Ox, Dinobot, Terrorsaur, Soaring Terror, Vangelos, and Ostakotor. Oh my goodness. Wait, that's an interesting emoticon. I don't think I have that one. Either way, with the B. With the B. Downright superb. That's awesome. Hi, Proto. Who writes jokes on the TF Wiki? I think the jokes on the TF Wiki are stupid. I'm going to just say that right now. I think it's dumb. I hope that no one writes jokes on the TF Wiki. Transformers is serious business. Proto, do you think Beast Wars second movie used Optimus Primal? The franchise is a rare example of multi-doctor storylines. No, you know what's funny? The Beast Wars movie, when it used Optimus Primal, that was at the time the Japanese were going like, hey, remember in the episode Chain of Command when the Vok shot Optimus Primal and he disappeared for the episode? The Japanese writers were like, oh, maybe he got teleported somewhere. And they kind of wrote that kind of story with the Beast Wars second movie. For people who haven't seen the Beast Wars second movie, check it out. It's really cool. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's a really good movie. It was shown in theaters in Japan. It technically was our first Transformer movie after the 86 movie, but before the Michael Bay ones. It was shown in theaters in Japan. It had the double Matrix Buster, which was a cool attack. And Majin Zadok, which still hasn't gotten the toy yet. So you want to talk about a Titan class figure. Where's my Majin Zadok? But yeah. Hey, Proto, do you think Pulse is going to start carrying store exclusives a few months after the store retail? So Hasbro came forward with this, with the Hasbro Pulse Partner Exclusive tab. So if you go on the Hasbro Pulse website, they have a tab called the Partner Exclusives where Hasbro, any product they make for any company, Walmart, Target, anything, they are actually legally allowed to have 10% of the stock to put on the Hasbro Pulse website. That's part of the new contract. So we're going to be seeing more, like, people are complaining, oh, I hate exclusives to Walmart and stuff like that. Well, if you're a Hasbro Pulse member, it's an alternative. You could go there. They're slowly starting to roll that stuff out. They started with the RED stuff. We're starting to see, we saw the Siege 3-packs of Soundwave and Optimus. I think we saw the Monopoly board game too for one of the other franchises. So they're slowly starting to put that stuff out there. It's a slow burn, but it's a good platform for people that don't want to have to rely on store exclusives, for people that have problems with scalping in their area with store exclusives, or just because the big V is making it tougher for people to go out and do their shopping. It's great to see. Good opportunity. Just hope it doesn't sell out. That's the problem. But yeah. Hey, Proto, I would love more Hasbro Pulse accessory sets. Do you know if the first was successful? Well, it was successful because it sold out instantly. And what would you like to see in one? Well, let's just start with that first set. So the very first set, which was with the what was it called there? The Sentry, not Sentry. It was the drone, Sentry drone. That sold out instantly. That sold out very quickly. And that came with a little mini Optimus that's supposed to work with your Unicron base for the HasLab Unicron. So we're probably going to see more accessory packs. It's probably going to have little figures that you could, again, use with your little Unicron. We're going to see more of it. It was extremely successful. Extremely. So, you know how it is with toys. Just keep selling it until it don't sell no more. Milk it, milk it, milk it, milk it. Where we at? With the super chats. Proto, think there exists concept art of Beast Wars second movie, including what G1 Scorponok would have looked like with that style. I have an art book. Where is it? Where is that book? Is it this one? Hold on, guys. This one here. You guys are making me think. Was this it? No, it wasn't this one. This was the other. So this is a movie pamphlet for, I think this was when they were showing the Beast Wars medals stuff. And probably not. Let me just check quickly. This was when they were doing the try. Yeah, see, they're showing art of like Beast Wars medals stuff. And with the Micro Man movie they were doing. And here's all the characters. Anyone who goes to see movies in Japan, just to let you know, a lot of times you get this kind of stuff where you get a pamphlet and they explain who all the characters are. It's becoming less common in Japan, but it was back in the 90s. It was a big thing where you would go see a movie and they would give you like a little, almost like you're going to see a play or something where you have a little program that tells you what's going on and here's the story and here's all the characters and how they got to that point. Why is Optimus Primal like that? Really cool stuff. I got this I think I got this from Tony Preto's table because he gets all this wacky paperwork stuff, and I love this kind of stuff because it's a piece of Transformer history. And this was the movie program for the Beast Wars Metal Tri-Play. One episode of Micro Man Magma, one episode of, I think this was Pretty Cure whatever, and then one episode of Beast Wars Metals. Pretty cool stuff. A lot of stuff from the archive that I've never scanned that isn't online. One day. All on the Discord. Gotta plug that. Let's have a Beast Wars accessory set. That would be really cool. That'd be really cool. Give me golden discs. Give me Dinobot's bandolier and his gun that he used during Coming of the Fusers Part 1 and 2. Give me, what else would be cool to have? Obviously a rubber ducky for Megatron. That's like a must, 100%. Stuff that'll obviously work with the Kingdom toys that are currently available. Obviously you gotta like make a proper mace for Optimus Primal. Maybe give him just the hilt, and then you could attach Paleot Rex's head on it. That'd be pretty cool. Stuff like that would be cool. Victoria, what was your question? I must have missed it, but ask it again. You clearly really want me to answer it. Where are we at here? For the first time since it was introduced, didn't renew my Pulse membership. They take so long to ship. Really? I don't have a Pulse membership. They are not friendly to the Canadians, to say the least. To say the least. It is very difficult for us. And it sucks too because we don't have a proper Canadian division yet for Hasbro Pulse. They got one just recently in the UK. So it's really tough to get Hasbro Pulse product unless it shows up in retail, which is usually how I get anything. Who writes the jokes on the TF Wiki? Anybody. Everyone works for free on the TF Wiki. Proto, what is your favorite dinosaur? Ooh. That's a tough one. You know what? When I was a kid, I really liked the Brontosaurus. I don't know why. I remember because I had a whole bunch of dinosaur toys as a kid. Everyone did. Everyone did at some point in your life. You ending up getting a bunch of dinosaur toys. I loved the Brontosaurus as a kid, but I think as I got older, I'm more of like a T-Rex Velociraptor kind of thing. Probably more T-Rex, just because T-Rexes look cool. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't know. I also like Triceratops. They're kind of cool too. They're kind of cool also. I never really thought about it. You know, like when Jurassic Park came out, I remember seeing it and going like, man, Velociraptors are cool. And of course, that was pretty much what the rest of the world did too. Before you know it, you saw Velociraptors everywhere, including Beast Wars. But I don't know. I guess I still lean on Brontosaurus and T-Rex. I guess so. I like Triceratops also. Like the thing is, like people always ask, like why did we go with like Slag, right, for Transformers Slag? It's more because Slag's a swear word in Transformers, and our podcast is we talk about all the deep nitty gritty shit in the world. You know, we shoot the slag. We talk about anything. And then, of course, we have, Josh Perez, who made our nice little amazing logo there. And before that, even Alex Milne made a nice little Transformer Slag logo, too. Before that, even way more back in the day. Back in, like, 2010, he did our logo. So it was always like we just used the Canadian Slag, the red-faced Slag toy, as our logo. So, yeah. I hope that answers your question. Kind of a long-winded answer for a favorite dinosaur. But, you know what? There's a few other cool ones. There's a lot of cool ones where I can't even pronounce their name. What's the one there that's like it killed the T-Rex, but it has like a fin on its back? Like that one's pretty crazy too. It's the one that the red Dinobot from Age of Extinction. Scorn. What Scorn was. That big, massive one that could kill a T-Rex. Yeah, Slag was used a lot in Beast Wars, and that's why I love it. Beast Wars used a lot of innuendo. They got away with a lot of crazy stuff. Spinosaurus Rex. There you go. Spinosaurus Rex. Those things are cool. Those things look like they could mess something up, man. Those things look like they could really mess something up. They're pretty crazy. They're pretty crazy. Nick wants to know, hey, Proto, if you could design a Transformer Monopoly game, how would you go about it? Character tokens. So I actually own both versions of the Transformer Monopoly game, and I've always hated the way that they did, like, they make them like really silly places and stuff. I have it in the other room with the Transformer Risk board game, the Transformer, I feel, you got to make like Iacon, and you got to make like the Crystal City. Like those are going to be like the Broadway, Boardwalk and Park Place. Like those are the most expensive ones. And then you got to go into the nitty gritty of Transformer landscape. Have like, the Gladiator stuff and the Sea of Rust and all the different locations. The problem is these Monopoly board games are more aimed at a casual audience who play board games and stuff. So they don't want to overcomplicate the places, and people go like, I don't remember that place in Transformers. So it's so much easier to just go, this place is Unicron, this place is this place is a dam, this place is that. As for the pieces, look, I'm going to go the business route. Legendary 7, except for obviously you don't use a Devastator. For what would be cool is if the little hotels were little like Iacon domes, and the smaller ones were like little like I guess like Energon cubes. I guess that'd be kind of cool. The money has to be like some kind of just like Transformer weird currency. The jail has to be like Trypticon or something. There's a way to go about it. I don't think in my life I've ever finished a game of Monopoly. I've played Monopoly probably 100 times. I've never finished a game because they take so long. And then at the end, everyone's trying to buy out each other, and it just never ends properly. But yeah, my favorite board game of all time, by the way, is Risk. And the Transformer Risk game is pretty cool, too. But I prefer the original Risk. I love that board game. Me and Jaws D would play it all the time. We'd go to my buddy's house, and we'd all play. Proto, think we will get a Burning Beast convoy and Legendary Commander Beast Wars Optimus Primal convoy from the Kingdom for sure. 200%. That's a Voyager mold. It's affordable. They're going to repaint it. It'll be like, like Burning Convoy, which is like right over there. I have the full-size one in the Beast Wars shelf. Oh, you can kind of see it. There it is. Oh, man. There's Burning Convoy, the full-size one. It's just a red splotch. And there's the Robotmaster version over there. So Burning Convoy, and then I have the Masterpiece one on the other side. But Burning Convoy, that's going to be like a Takara Tomy Mall exclusive. Watch. It'll be something like that. They'll do it in like a 2-pack or something. I could see that happening. And that'd be cool. And that's the easy one. Every time we get an Optimus Primal mold, they do a red repaint. So why not? Why not? Look, even when we did, when we had that Cybertron mold there, they did the red repaint. They called it Ape Links. And then I got one and it has 2 left hands. Thanks a lot, Fun Pub. But didn't realize until I got home, so I guess it's my fault. I should have checked it. But who the hell is opening all their figures at the con? I don't know. I wait till I get home. I'm enjoying myself there. We got 15 minutes left, guys, by the way, in the super chat, just to let you know. 15 minutes left. Risk totally works as a Transformer game. It's not only that, the Risk Transformers game is amazing because they added an extra element where some of the continents transform and move because it's based off the movie continuity, and it's really cool. It's really cool. Like, I can't stress it enough. If you could find the Risk version of the Transformer game, which is based off of the 2007 movie, it's actually very fun. Still to this day, though, the best Transformer board game is the Armada Transformer board game. Shout out to Misum J. Alvatron for introducing me to that all those years ago. Like, I first played it in like 2002 or 2003, and it is amazing. It's like positioning and strategy with a little bit of a TCG element to it. It's really cool, and you pick your character, and each characters have different strengths and weaknesses. It's really good, and it's pretty cheap too. Like, because a lot of people slept on it and don't realize how good a game it is. So it doesn't have like a huge demand. If you could pick it up, it is really good. Like, you customize your own board play sets, and it's like if you're someone who likes, like, I guess, like strategy tabletop kind of stuff, it's really good. I can't sell it enough. There's footage probably somewhere on YouTube. It's me and a whole bunch of people at TFCon playing it. Like, we were playing it. I think this is like 2007 at the show because it was so good. We got a whole bunch of people and we played in the lobby like the day before the show. And there was like a bunch of people came by. Is the Jurassic Park X Transformers a show or comic? For me to hope it's a show. It's just going to be probably a figure. We're going to have a crossover figure, and then maybe a 4-issue comic. Maybe. Like, they did one with Back to the Future. So, and they did one with the Ghostbusters. So maybe we'll get a comic. But that's more dependent on how the sales are of the previous two. But again, that's all just rumors. Rumors and innuendo. Well, that's all it is. Sounds kind of like Warhammer. A little bit. Warhammer has a lot of, like, measuring, you know. I wish I could show you guys. Like, it's so cool. I have it opened in the other room, but I don't want to have to bring it home back. And everyone always complains when I run away to bring something to show you guys. I got to show you this. But yeah. Any of you into the Galactic Odyssey sets? How much are you all into them? Well, I really love this one that I just got. I love the Micron one. I can't wait to open this. I really can't. Like, I can't wait to, like, clip these guys out, especially these two. This was the set I was looking forward to more than any of the others. Like, it was so cool. I love Micromasters. So cool, that one. Can't wait. Do you see a reissue of some of the previous exclusives like Earthrise Seekers or Ironhide Prowl? Probably not reissues of the Seekers and stuff like that. Maybe like popular characters at some point getting repaints, but not straight up reissues. Aaron Archer's in the house with 13 minutes left in the podcast, in the stream. What up, Aaron? No one asked why Proto Man has a tape measure at his desk, and he marked it. Oh, did I? Yeah, it's weird. It's marked at 10 inches. Why is that? It's actually because I was measuring some figures for different things a while back, and it just stayed here. Where are we at? Where are we at? Aside from measuring things below the belt. What is Transformer Robomasters? It's Transformers Robotmasters. It was a subline of Transformers made in 2001, and it ended around, I want to say like 2004-ish. Oh, we have Transmutates in the way there. That's the whole line there, more or less. It was like a hodgepodge of like old molds repainted as new characters mixed with new molds of the Cybertronian leaders. It was the first time we had like a mini Masterpiece Optimus Prime, and it was pretty cool. They came with DVDs, which had like little episodes and stuff. It was a cute little thing back in the day. Aaron, say hi. People are surprised you're here, I guess. Long day? Long day? I had a long day too, Aaron, also. I was doing a lot of shopping because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do stuff next week, so I had to do all my food shopping today. We got to talk business anyways later. So, hi, Proto, do you think HasLab will do another run of Unicron? Actually, this question was asked by Unicron.com to Hasbro, and the answer was no, they will not do a second run. And if they somehow manage to do a second run, they will try to honor the value of the previous people who backed it and have to do a completely different color scheme. And they're not saying like a slight tweak, like just it have to be completely different, like a black repaint or something, like a Death of Unicron or whatever. So they said that there will be no second release, and if they do a repaint, it's going to be something different to honor the original backers. That was their actual answer. Again, Unicron.com, specifically their Twitter, they posted a 40-minute interview with Hasbro about the Unicron, about the Chaos Bringer, so you could get all the information on that straight from Hasbro's lips of what's happening with that product and all the deep questions that the fans were asking. An amazing interview, by the way, by the Lucas brothers. Props to them. They are amazing guys. Hi, Proto. Do you think Hasbro will give us many repaints of the Earthrise Seeker molds? Of course. Of course. Seekers to the end of time. Seekers till the end of time. Trust me. We're going to have Seekers forever. Look, we just got Sparkless Seeker now. So now that's on the table. Now every time we get a Seeker Jet mold, we can have one that's rusted. Add it to the list. Thank you for answering the question. Guess I need to save money to buy one off of eBay. The crazy price is dang. I know that's the problem right now. Honestly, John, my suggestion would be wait. That's what and I don't want to say the reason why, because it's Chinese and bootleggy. But that's what I'm just going to say. Wait. Because the second China gets their hands on one, you know what's going to happen. Wait. Hey, Proto, in Revenge of the Fallen, Jetfire went on a rant and he said something about his father turning into a wheel. The first wheel, as he said. Do you think he could be refrigerated into scrounge? I think you mean reformatted into scrounge. I don't know if it was just Mark Ryan, the voice actor of Jetfire, just going crazy and just ad-libbing. Maybe. But it's possible in that continuity. There's a movie, Michael Bay Scrounge, that uses a dark, gritty yellow and turns into a wheel with extending fingers. Although knowing how the way the movie verse is, it probably wouldn't be called Scrounge. It probably wouldn't be yellow. And it probably would be completely off. And then there would be a fart joke somewhere. And then Jetfire farts and he has some parachutes that come out of his butt. Transformers. Hi, Proto. Do you think Hasbro will give us many repaint? Oh, yes, they will. Like I said before. Yeah. I don't think it will bootleg it for the same reason they didn't bootleg Metroplex. Yeah, a little bit different, my friend. Metroplex wasn't something that can make big money like $1,000 Unicron in the secondary market. When a Metroplex goes for $1,000, then it'll wake up China. Like I said, just wait. Just wait. Let's put it that way. Do you think characters from Beast Wars comics could get toys? I think so. I would love to see Nyx and Scold get toys. I think it's, you know what? In the same way that something like Drift and Nausicaa and Windblade, all these characters that were first kind of comic characters that later on became toy characters, I think it's the same thing too. I think that as time progresses, they'll like adopt the character of Scold or Nyx and give them a chance to get a toy at some point. Look, it's two brand new, fresh designs and trademarks that they could jump in on. And if it doesn't sell well, at least they tried, and we got that one spiny turtle or bat figure. And then they could do Nyx in a way that they could engineer it that there could still be a backdoor to do a Bat Optimus Prime or a Night Scream, if you would want a Night Scream for whatever reason. It would be the first ever in-scale Night Scream toy. He only had 2. It's Sunday morning here. Nice listening to this with a cuppa in my hand. I guess you mean cappuccino. I'm glad you're enjoying, Brian. I'm glad you're enjoying. And we got 6 minutes left, people. 6 minutes left on the Super Chat, 6 minutes left on the podcast. So get those questions in now. Protoman, what would be the top 5 alternate skin options for Season 1 Optimus Primal in a new Beast Wars game? Well, obviously we would have regular colors, toy colors. We have regular colors, toy colors, burning colors. We'd have the clear color, like clear, which actually was a toy. I don't know if you could see it. You could barely see it, but it's there. Clear colors, and then we would have Rasta colors, which is from the Universe one, which is the brown color scheme. So there's your 5. There you go. I gave you 5 right there. What are your thoughts on Primal, Cheetor, and Rat Trap all appearing in W1 of Kingdom with W3 Netflix vintage reissues as part of the push of Hasbro in preparation for the movie? It's the market, brother. It's 90s kids are the buying market. Kids who grew up with Beast Wars have money. They got money right now, and because they got money, but they have money, they have their first job, but they still live with their parents. They haven't bought a house yet. They haven't moved out. So they get that paycheck, even if it's a minimum wage paycheck, and they could revisit their childhood. And if you give them their first cigarette, of toy collecting, and then they all of a sudden get that nicotine hit. It's like, oh man, they're going to start buying more toys. Before you know it, we got them. They're ours now. We got a question from Joshua Perez, superstar IDW comic book artist and an amazing colorist too. Hey, Proto Man, when do you think we'll get Beast Wars characters of the Grogs and Spitfire from Transformer Zone? Well, Josh, actually, see, I was talking to Hasbro's high-ups, and Brian Goldner was telling me that his favorite Transformer series was Zone, specifically because it reminds him of his days back when he lived on the planet and was looking for the Zodiac. But we can't talk about that right now, so it's all under the table. Do you think we will ever redo Viacons? I think so. I think Tankor is due for something. I think Tankor is definitely due for something at some point. Tankor, Strika, when you think about even like non-show Viacons that have like traditional names, there was a Viacon named Mirage, there was a Viacon named Scavenger. We could see that in the future. We could see that. The unfortunate thing is Beast Machines didn't sell as well as Beast Wars, so the focus isn't as much. When we get a Beast Machines homage, it's a show character that gets that nod. We got a super chat question. Oh, it's not a question, but we got a super chat from Larkin's Lair. No question, just join the Patreon. Enjoy your stuff. Thank you for joining the Patreon, brother. Thank you for. I'll do the Patreon spiel at the end. I want to utilize the next 3 minutes we have or so with everyone for more questions and stuff. But thank you for joining the Patreon, Larkin. Where we at here? Oh, I'm going to contact you, Larkin, also because I'll need some information to attach you to things. so you could get all your goods. Do you think Commander class Overlord works in a leader is great? Well, that leader class one for Overlord, by the way, from I think it was Titan's Return. Yeah, it was Titan's Return. That made me and Jazzy, that made our like top 5 Transformers of that year. That was a great leader class. So if it's a Commander class, the only thing I'd want different is fully transformable Power Master, God Masters. That's it, really. Otherwise, I mean, it was a great figure already to begin with. I don't think it'll happen because already it was a great figure. So they don't really need to revisit it anytime soon. That's something like, yeah, they'll revisit it in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, when there's distance from it. But not anytime soon. I skipped Beast Machines because I was busy watching WWF. Well, it was the Attitude Era at the time. 1999, The Rock was champion with the corporate champion. So, yeah, it would make sense. I was doing both. Do I have any WWF stuff near me? I don't have anything. I have just my Bret Hart figure over here. That's all I got. Heart Attack Action. Hasbro when they were doing the old WWF figures back in the day. When do you think we will see the next Galactic Odyssey announcement? That's an Amazon thing. Most of the Galactic Odyssey announcements were always from Fan First Fridays or Transformer Tuesdays through Hasbro. So I think it'll be something that'll be done through them if we get another stream. That's what I think. So next time we get an announcement that we're going to have something like that. Look, guys, Monday is going to be the Walmart Collector Con. So we might get some new stuff that we didn't know about from before. We're going to probably even find out about our spoiler pack figure. So get ready for that. We still got some more news coming. And we are pretty much done for today. We have hit the 2-hour mark on our podcast with all my beautiful peeps. I just want to say thank you again, everyone who have come to the podcast. We peaked at around like 170 of people today. It was pretty cool. Once again, if you want to support the podcast, patreon.com/Protoman. Check the description below to join the Patreon, support the podcast, and all the cool stuff. Aaron Archer says, next big con we will be all at. Who knows, Aaron? Who knows? Who knows when the next con will be? I actually answered that question from someone. They were asking when they think like TFCon stuff will happen. Who knows? When the world's in a better place in 2025, when I have my hoverboard. But again, thanks everyone for coming to the podcast. Again, if you want to support everything we do here, be sure to go to patreon.com/Protoman, become a patron, get cool stuff, come join us on the Discord, free stuff, cool exclusive content. You get to chat with all the cool people. Hell, I'm there so you can come bug me and ask stupid questions to me all the time, like, why am I going bald? I don't know. Maybe too much testosterone. Maybe because I was measuring something. This is what happens when you stay late in the stream. But yeah, again, thanks everyone for coming. It's always awesome. And like I always say, roll out.